Society helps to define culture, reducing ethnicity to a human scale, but complementing genre. In fact, community genre define each other's domain. Genre helps harness the power of generalizations, grouping together texts that share important similarities in terms of purpose, rhetoric, form, and audience. The idea in these discourse communities is that we generally use language to communicate with the wider world, but with other individuals or social groups. But in the idea of community members using language to engage in these practices to achieve these goals, and the community expresses the first number of aspects in the productions and interpretations of spoken and written discourse.
Community academic writing and metadiscourse. In the world of academia, writing is much more than simply putting words on a page. It's a complex process, deeply rooted in the convention, norms, and way of thinking of particular disciplinary communities or tribes. To be taken seriously and have influence in your field, you need to master the art of engaging with the discourse communities through your writing. One powerful tool for doing this is Metadiscourse. What are discourse communities? Think of academic fields like biology, sociology, or literature as distinct cultures with their own specialized language, modes of inquiry, bodies of knowledge, and assumptions about what constitutes convincing evidence and arguments. Just as each human culture has role about appropriate behavior, academic disciplines are discourse communities with implicit roles about effective communication and persuasion through writing. The role of metadiscourse. Metadiscourse refers to the way we turn engaged reader and signal the construction of their text through devices like translation maker, attitude maker, and reader engagement. Using metadiscourse allows you to connect with reader expectation, pull them along through your argument, and get them to perceive you as credible insider to the disciplinary community. Disciplinary variation. Different fields make use of metadiscourse in different ways based on their value and assumption. For example, in psychology, forgivers research methods are more valued. In literary studies, often avoid direct engagement. Art science stick to fixed pattern like I am ready format. Even within the same discipline, genre like textbook versus research article might deploy metadiscourse quite differently. So the main thing is, rather than just recording observation, academic writing is about constructing a disciplinary understanding of the world. Mastering metadiscourse allows you to enter into the argument, practice, and knowledge-making process of your field. By working with an awareness of your discourse community's expectation, you'll be able to persuade colleagues of your credibility and gain influence over how your discipline view its subject matter.
The research article is a genre where orientation towards the reader is crucial in achieving rhetorical goals. In addition, the act of knowledge is a social process that involves making linguistic choice that the audience will recognize. Based on rhetoric, viewing knowledge as the social truth of a belief. Therefore, the writer must, the first is, consider the reader's expected reactions, the second is, anticipate his or her background knowledge, and the third is, process personal issues, interests, and expectations. Academic writers also strive to produce texts that evoke reader response.
In academic writing, authors use various language strategies to interact with their reader and present their argument persuasively. This strategy, known as interactional metadiscourse, differs across disciplines, hedges and booster. Writers use hedges to present claims as contingent and open to negotiation, while booster suppress alternative and assert certainty. The humanities and social science tend to have more hedges and booster than the hard science. This is because software deal with more interpretation, diversity of outcomes, and favor unique Q vocal base for claims. Software rely on dialogic engagement and recognizing alternative voice, so writer must be more cautious with hedges and more for careful with booster to establish their argument. Self-mention. Using first-person pronoun like I and we allow writer to explicitly claims authority, embrace their contribution, and seek recognition for their work. Rather, in the humanities and social science use significantly more self-mention than those in the hard science. In software, establishing an authorial persona and maintaining personal engagement are valuable strategies for navigating complex, less precisely measurable phenomena. Self-mention help better construct a credible and engaging colleague while reflecting upward confidence and authority. Engagement marker bring reader into the discourse related to them and anticipate their possible objection. Common engagement strategies includes reader pronouns, personal aside, question, and directive. Reader pronouns like you and we claim authority while fostering solidarity and dialogue with the audience. Directive which guide reader reasoning and more common in the hard science where argument can be present more succinctly. Attitude markers. Attitude markers such as attitude verbs, sentence adverbs, and adjective signal the writer affective attitudes and judgment. This implicit evaluation foreground the writer and establish a link with the disciplinary community by assuming shared attitude and values. Attitude markers are more prevalent in the humanities and social science, where writer must establish personal credibility and disciplinary competence through explicit evaluation. Interactional metadiscourse thus reveal how writers in the different disciplines strategically use language to effectively interact with their audience and secure agreement for their argument. By understanding this discipline line specific conversation, writers can be navigate their rhetorical context of their field and communicate their research persuasively.
Metadiscursial devices that refer the reader to explanatory or related material elsewhere in the text. Endophorics are a key feature of writing in typical disciplines, where the reference is usually a nearby table or graph. Linguistic research are configured in science by combining image and text, and these metadiscourse markers serve to highlight those relationships for the reader. First, in the marketing, we will see in the next sections that failure to capture higher levels effects and or true interactions effects can lead to problems associated with interpreting regressions, coefficients, or interpretations that are essentially used to measure the extent of the model's ability to explain variations in the dependence variables, especially as weight of importance. In the second, in applied linguistics, what is clear from our experiment is that it is not the placing of the grammatical codes that is causing problems, since as we saw in the previous sections, informants were willing to use the extra column to obtain synonyms. Last, in the sociology, the mere fact of structural change does not, however, predetermine the pattern of worker response because, as we noted in the previous sections, there are multiple mechanisms by which labor force adjustment can occur.
Metadiscourse variation in textbooks across discipline. This disciplinary difference reflects patterns found in various fields. For example, color diagrams and glossy photograph are commonly used in a business study to convey marketing norms, whereas experiment, taxonomy, and electron micrograph are commonly found in biology textbooks. Therefore, each text has a different role in a scientific discipline. The research article is a community constructor genre embodying disciplinary convention, value, and practice, because its author employ theoretical, research, and rhetorical vocabulary representative of their field.
You ever thought about how textbooks are written beyond just presenting fact? Believe it or not, textbooks written employ various rhetorical strategies to guide how knowledge is formed and perceived by students. One key why they do this is through the use of interactional metadiscourse features. Let's explore what these are and how they vary across different academic fields. Interactional metadiscourse refers to language tools used to interact with readers, express attitudes, and engage their understanding. These include things like digest words, booster amplifying, self-mention, engagement maker. While you may expect textbook to be purely informational, these books actually contain a substantial 40% interactional metadiscourse on events, and the way these features are used differs substantially between sub-disciplines like humanity or the social science and hard disciplines like the science. In the soft field, textbook features use more keywords to avoid overstatement, frequently express personal attitudes and judgment through self-mention, employ attitude maker like superficially, unfriendly, engage rather through inclusive way to build shared understanding. Whereas in hard science field, textbook features use more boosting words to make strong, definitive claims, really more on theoretical model and empirical evidence, give directive with necessities model like mass, solve, assert authority through an instructional tone. These patterns mirror written in research articles and reflect differing rhetorical norms and epistemologies across deep disciplines. Software value uncertainty, researcher perspective, and audience involvement. Hard science strive for objectivity and make knowledge claims backed by methods. Even in the seemingly straightforward genre of textbook, interactional metadiscourse serves an important role in forming knowledge and the reader relationship in field-specific way. Interactional metadiscourse represent wider effort to guide you as the reader toward disciplinary norms for constructing and communicating knowledge. Understanding these strategies can help you become an even more effective learner.
Interactive metadiscourse in textbooks course discipline. Interactive metadata help to write between argument relationship or different texts from one text to another and different in understanding between readers. Some form guide the reading process for beginners by showing discourse organization and outlining propositional relationship and inference. Transition. The role of discourse organization is to distinguish transition that connect activities and argument. The function of connecting element internal argument is that the use of appropriate conjunction can generate several problems, and discussion can produce clear and neatly organized conclusion from each sentence. Endophoric are often used in research texts to connect the visual and verbal. Endophoric also have function to connect distant information and ensure that important information is available and well conveyed, so that the readers will easily understand it. Evidence marker. Evidence play an important role in the social science by emphasizing explicit collect and making reader aware that claim cannot be spared from their originator. Evidence is more often found in research text than in other texts. In difficult fields, especially fields that require experimentation and truth, evidence play an important role in providing support for claim rather than attribution.